Hi, I'm Lou Gramm, former singer of Foreigner, and we're listening to Talking About Rock.
All right, today's guest is considered among the quintessential greatest and most successful rock vocalists of his generation. As the original lead singer of the band Foreigner, he helped define the sound of classic rock in the late 70s and 80s. With more than 80 million records sold worldwide, his work continues to resonate across decades. He's a member of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the Songwriters Hall of Fame, and the Heavy Metal Hall of Fame. And his influence on popular music is undeniable. Here to chat with us about his long-awaited third solo album, Released, let's welcome Mr. Lou Gramm. Hello, Lou.
How are you?
Good. How are you doing today?
Very good, thanks.
Excellent. So the new album is a 10-track collection here, produced by yourself with associate producer Matthew Gramm, which is amazing. Features songs co-written with Bruce Turgeon, originally recorded, I think, in the 80s. Just a great collection of songs, opening with Young Love, which sounds amazing on here.
Thank you. I've been putting that group of songs together for a number of years. And
it seems to be doing very well for you, definitely. You know,
yeah.
And definitely very, very cool. So let's map out a little bit of your history and rewind a little bit, as we say, right? So starting back in the 70s with Black Sheep, you guys were originally signed on the new Chrysalis label, which was out at the time. Soon afterwards, signed with Capitol Records, released 2 albums with Black Sheep. And as the story kind of goes, it's a kind of a famous story now, right? On an icy covered New York State Thruway on Christmas Eve '75, an accident occurred with the band's equipment. You guys were the opening act for Kiss, and that kind of stopped that right in its tracks there.
Well, that was for the whole tour. We were supposed to open for that, and I think we would have established ourselves as a band to reckon with, and I think our albums would have started selling.
Do you ever think about that in retrospective a little bit to say if that hadn't occurred, do you think Black Sheep would have definitely made it up the charts for sure?
I don't know how far up the charts, longevity or anything like that, but I think it would have been the break that happened.
Yeah, and obviously you went on to connect with Mick Jones. He was in Rochester performing with Spooky Tooth. He asked you to join what was then Trigger, what became Foreigner.
He asked me to come to New York and audition. And I found out later they had auditioned over 40 songs.
Yeah, and you guys went on to create some definitely impressive, run on radio. So some amazing tracks, obviously. Urgent, Jukebox Hero, Break It Up, Say What You Will, just amazing tracks. Was there a lot of pressure to kind of keep that coming, to keep that machine going and those hit songs coming out?
Well, we put the pressure on ourselves, and we didn't want to just keep them coming out. We wanted better what we had done.
Yeah, and then came your first solo album in, I think, Ready or Not came in '87 with the single Midnight Blue reaching the top 5. But that really didn't sit too well, from what I read with Mick. Can you tell us a little bit of kind of what happened there when that started out?
Well, I think he considered it to be me competing with Foreigner, and that's not what I intended to do. I had no intentions of competing with Foreigner. That's what I put it.
Yeah, and then it looked like in '89 you did a second solo effort, Long Hard Look. That included the top 10 hit Just Between You and Me, as well as True Blue, which reached the top 40.
Right. And that was a good album too. And I think for the first album, Capitol Records was much more supportive and pushed to get the record played and so on. And the second album, I didn't feel that same attention from them. And I'm surprised because again, the first album's, modest success, but with a lot of promise. The second album, I think they just
didn't have the push behind it, or
no.
All right, so that brings us into May 1990. You announced your departure from Foreigner due to differences with Mick and to focus on your solo career with that. And you actually formed a band in 91 called Shadow King with your close friend and former Black Sheep bassist, Bruce Turgeon.
Yes. That was a lot of fun. We had a great lineup.
And also in 91, I was reading you contributed to the song One Dream for the movie Highlander 2, The Quickening.
And we were putting that song together. And we were looking forward to touring. Because it felt to me, when we were writing the song, killer live band. And so the record was released. And our first show was in England. The venue was very popular.
Then you rejoined Foreigner, I was reading, in 92 after working out your differences. Actually, during the Los Angeles riots, I guess that's when that occurred from what I was reading.
Yes.
Then in 94, Foreigner released the album Mr. Moonlight on the Rhythm Safari label, which was pretty successful in Europe, but not really marketed very much in the U.S. at the time.
No, it wasn't a strong label, and didn't have the promotional team to market, and it basically came and went.
Yeah, but obviously the biggest, I think, big success that kind of really put you guys over the top was the Foreigner 4 album. Obviously, when that came out, it just seemed that there was hit after hit coming out from that album. It was just amazing. Do you recall any time during the songwriting process or the creation, did you guys kind of think, hey, we got something special here, maybe a little bit more special than what we've had before?
Well, we were disappointed in the way that Game's album turned out for a number of reasons. But we put that behind us, and that whatever we recorded next was going to have to knock the ball out of the park. And Mick and I worked for a long time on just a songwriting, and then we got the guys of the band together and started working out arrangements. Pretty soon we were in the studio recording. And it was a lot of fun, a lot of pressure, but a lot of fun. And I think it was Urgent that was the first thing, right?
Yeah, that was the first hit, obviously on radio over and over. But it just seemed, I remember that time very well, and it just seemed like that song kept going. Waiting for a Girl Like You was on with Casey Kasem, America's Top 40, over and over. Yeah, and the songs just kept coming. Obviously, Jukebox Hero exploded off of that and kind of just hit it to the stratosphere after that, right?
Really wonderful times.
Yeah. But I guess what I was reading also, when you guys were performing that, you had the inflatable jukebox, which sometimes didn't perform very well for you.
Well, it would get halfway up. It would be halfway inflated. It would start tipping over. Which was really hilarious to the audience.
Right. So you guys, you wanted it the nice stage setup, right? Yeah. So I just thought it was a very cool prop at the time. It just didn't always seem to work out what it needed to do.
I think it's interesting.
Yeah. So let's move ahead a little bit into May 2013. You released your autobiography, Jukebox Hero: My 5 Decades in Rock and Roll. which I thought was a very great insight to all your time as well.
Thank you. I enjoyed writing that book. And
yeah, and then in June 2013, you're inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame, which was amazing. But I think eventually, which something we were all looking for, and I don't know if you guys even ever thought about it or talked about it, in 24 when you were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as a member of Foreigner, which I mean, a lot of people thought it was about time this had happened. I don't know if you guys ever had talked about that. I don't know if that's something that musicians think about during their career. Maybe at some point.
Well, Mick and I had talked about it a couple of years after we were eligible, and we hadn't even been nominated. And 5 or 6 years went by, and we still weren't nominated. We were wondering what was going on because we certainly had the credentials.
Right. Definitely. Definitely. Well, it was great to finally see that, and to finally seeing that happen for you guys was outstanding for sure. I know all the fans had been waiting for that for a long time. Yeah. And so that brings us kind of up to date. All right. And it looks like you'll be hitting the road through 2026 in support of the released album. We'll run a solo headlining dates across North America, which looks amazing.
Yeah, we're really pleased about the amount of shows we have, and we think the album is way worth supporting. It's a really good album. I think the songs stand on their own, one for the other, and I'm very proud.
Yeah, definitely. So we can't wait to see you back in the hometown of Rochester, New York. Obviously, December 12th at the Kodak Center. That's something everyone will be looking forward to. And folks out there, you can check out the tickets and full details at LouGrammOfficial.com. You can pick up your signed copy of Release. It's available now. All right. So that wraps up this episode of Talking About Rock. Thank you to my guest today, the Jukebox Hero, Mr. Lou Gramm. And to our listeners, we hope you're doing your part by keeping the torch alive and supporting live music wherever you are. Mr. Gramm, again, thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you.